Welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans. What is today? June 23rd. We are in the middle of the end of the month for June already. A reminder to everyone, guys, we do not allow note takers on this call, your digital note takers, because that messes up the recording and we can't get a clear recording for replay. I want to give a very, very special welcome to anybody who is joining us for the very first time.
Wow.
This is TNT, the
Yay.
nation's longest running free coaching program for notaries in the country. And to everyone joining us on YouTube, hello. Thank you for being with us live. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for catching us after the fact. We appreciate you spending time with us any way you can. All right, guys. I want you to consider TNT to be your standing invitation to the hottest room in the notary space. TNT goes live every week because your business doesn't take the summer off, and neither do we. We are here to sharpen your strategy, call out what's not working, and celebrate your wins, and make sure the decisions you're making are moving the needle for you. Show up ready. This isn't a vibe session. It is a strategic work session. It's an ask me anything style call where no questions are off limits. Now, questions in the chat may or may not be answered. We can't guarantee those will be answered because we are going to give priority to those who raise their hands, their digital hands. And you can find that digital hand right at the bottom of your Zoom screen. It's a little outline of a hand, and that will help get you in line to get your questions answered. And of course, if you're curious about what you can post or any of the room etiquette, please check the chat. All of the rules and announcements and things will be posted there, as well as any links for upcoming events that we will be sharing with you soon. But before we get to all that, let me introduce myself. I am Jen Neitzel. I am the creator of Marketing for Notaries, the co-creator of the Certified Notary Trust Delivery Agent Program, and the author of On the Move. And I am joined every week by the co-hostess with the mostest, the 2026 Notary of the Year, Miss Laura Bewer. Hey, Laura.
Hi, all. Good to be here today.
How are you today, Laura? Are you ready for another awesome TNT?
I am ready,
That's great.
ready
That's
to
good.
roll.
Energy is high today. I can already feel it. And we, of course, are supported every week on this call by the president of the California League of Independent Notaries, Mr. Matt Miller. Hey, Matt.
Oh,
Hey
man.
Jen, hey all, glad to be back. Looking forward to the call today.
And I know you have got some news for us, and we're going to get to that at the end of our announcements. But Laura, I first would like for you to tell us about your book, The Compassionate Notary.
And I would love to. This is the book I wish I had when I started doing hospital work and working with vulnerable signers, whether they're in hospitals, hospice, homebound. There are a lot of common issues with those kind of signers, and I wish I had this kind of resource that was easy for me to help me with the kinds of things that come up. So if that's something, the kind of work you're thinking about doing, absolutely consider having a resource to help you step by step with all of it. And you can find that on my website, coachmelora.com/books, or you can find it on Amazon. Either way, thank you.
Absolutely. And I am going to go ahead and put that link in the chat for you, for everybody, so they can check out your book. If you need a marketing plan, I wrote the book I wish I had at the beginning of my career.
Exactly.
Honestly, check out Marketing for Notary, or excuse me, On the Move, the relationship driven 5 point marketing system for mobile business success. It will absolutely help you figure out the very stressful world of marketing your business. Now, you guys know that Laura and I are the co-creators of the Certified Notary Trust Delivery Agent Program, or CNTDA as we like to call it. And we are having our next free webinar all about the estate planning opportunity for notaries on July 10th at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 p.m. Eastern. There is a link There will be a link in the chat for you guys to get registered for free and come join us. Now, the National Notary Association is hosting its final Elevate to Action post-conference support session this Saturday, the 27th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central, or 1 p.m. Eastern. This is a free event and it's all about following up from conference. You do not have to have attended conference to come and join us. Laura, you're going to be there with me
I will be this
on
Saturday.
Saturday too. Yes. Laura and I are going to be there. It is a free event. We encourage you to come. The link to register is in the chat. Now, next week, our special guest is our very own Matt Miller with the California League of Independent Notaries, and he's going to be delivering the latest legislative updates for notaries from across the nation. But Matt, we got to hear about AB 1597 and what is going on. Can you fill us in and help us let us know what we can do to help?
You bet, Jen. I got a little bit more pressing news to share about that bill this week that can't wait until next week. So, the good news is the California fee modernization bill passed the Senate last Thursday 37-0. And now it's on its way to the governor's desk. So, we've come a very long way, guys. We've got a lot of incredible momentum, but we still have one more step to go. So, now what we need to do is call Governor Newsom's office at 916 445 2841 and urge him to sign the bill. You can get a suggested call script on the calnotaries.org website, which I'm going to place a link to in the chat right
Got it.
now.
Yep, I already got it in there for everybody so they can see. Yeah, you guys wrote all the, I mean, you had how many letters?
Yeah.
1500?
1950 letters, which they have,
19.
which has never happened before,
That's
right? That's
insane. That's unbelievable, Matt. So now we got to get these notaries fired up this week to call Governor Newsom's office and urge him to sign the bill that is sitting on his desk. And what did you tell me? When does he normally sign
He
bills?
likes to sign bills on Fridays, and so we've got a couple more Fridays before recess begins. So we want to urge him to get this signed so we can get it chaptered so notaries can get more money in their pockets starting January 1. This is
You-
important, guys. This is the last final push. And if
Yeah.
you want this bill to be signed into law, give a call. It takes literally 2 minutes. You leave your message, it gets counted, it gets added to the bill package that's presented to the governor. So it does make a difference.
So what I'm hearing is if we a lot of us call this week that maybe he could even sign it like this Friday. Is that possible?
That's what we're shooting for.
Oh
That's
my
what we're looking
gosh.
at.
And it can be anyone. It doesn't have to be like I can call from Texas, right? Because I support the bill. Or does it have to be a
Sure.
California
You
notary?
could identify yourself as a signing service or a notary public educator or a title company or an attorney. Anybody who has an interest in California notary work can certainly call and urge support for the bill.
Nice. But you have scripts that you gave us in that
I
link.
do. So if you
That's
go
great.
to the link in the chat or just go to the calnotaries.org website, there's a link at the top where you can click take action now. And there's a 3 or 4 sentence suggested script, the phone number to call, and everything to do is right there.
That's incredible. Thank you so much, Matt. And
You're
again,
welcome.
congratulations on this. I know this is a
We're
huge
almost
moment
there.
for you and for all the notaries in California. So let's support our brothers and sisters in California and help them get this bill passed. Pick up the phone, read the script that Matt posted, and let's make this happen, guys. I'm so excited. Thank you, Matt. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. All right, guys, we are ready to get your questions answered. All we need is for you to raise your digital hands. And for some reason, my digital hand is up.
Yeah, what are you waving your hand around?
Me, a hand tucker? What? I don't even know what you mean. All right, guys, let's get those digital hands raised. And while you are doing that, I am going to take a. Oh, Luz has a question for us. Hey, Luz.
Just need to unmute.
Hey. Yeah, I know.
Hi.
Took me a minute. I'm driving. How are you, ladies?
Great. How are you today?
Doing good. I was just I had a quick question about trying to find more avenues to get more work.
Okay.
Like which, because so far I've only have like three avenues. Like I'm on Notarize. I do get some signings from like signing order, and another one is Snapdots because I'm practically really new here. So I was trying to get advice on where other places that I can find notary.
Are you focusing on loan signings, Luz?
Um, Loan signings is one of them, and also general notary work is another. So
Okay.
right now, I'm trying to keep it since it's just me. I didn't want to like overwhelm myself.
Yeah.
So I have those two signing places, but now just to find general notary work, I'm just kind of finding it kind of hard to find
hmm
places that I can find that general or where to advertise or what to do.
Sure. So I think that it's important that we all understand that there is a shift happening in our space, in our industry. And the old model that we all used to hear about, which was sign up for, the 150 signing services or 100 signing services, and you'll have all the business you can handle. That's kind of dead and gone at this point. Laura, wouldn't you agree?
Well, I'm not saying if you want to do loan signings not to sign up with them, but I
That's
don't
not what
think
I'm saying
that's
either.
how that's not how we grow the business.
Right. That's um well, that's the video I put out today. That's kind of the floor,
Yeah.
right? It's kind of the floor, and it's Luz, it's not sustainable, which is why it's really losing traction. So I think the most important thing for any small business owner, whether you're a notary or you're in insurance or you're selling widgets at a craft fair or something, I don't know, but whatever you're selling, I think it's really important that you learn some direct relationship marketing skills. And so I would absolutely, do you have the book On the Move yet, Luz?
Uh, no, haven't gotten that one yet.
Okay.
No, I did get your newest one. I got it off Amazon when you were advertising it like 2 weeks ago on the TNT. The one
Uh,
that was,
yeah, that's the one I want you to read called On the Move.
oh,
I want you to
oh,
read,
okay.
yeah, I want you to read that because it's going to explain. Even an hour call, there's not enough time to fully explain all the ins and outs of relationship marketing. But
Mm-hmm.
relationship marketing is where this industry is moving. For
Okay.
the folks that want to build something that can grow, that they can grow, that they can scale, that they can sustain, and
Mhm.
and be able to pay their bills. And we've got to break the idea that we can sustain ourselves off simply one line of work, which
Yeah.
has been loan signings, and one business model, which is signing services. There are other ways to build your business. So, Laura, tell me how you advertise um, away from using signing services. How do you advertise in your town?
So hold on a second, because are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah, can
Okay.
you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you. I lost you. There we are. Now we're back.
And I'm in Florida, by the way. I'm in the state of Florida.
Okay. So
Okay.
first of all, I think that you want to open your door to all opportunities, whether
hmm
they're loan signings or trust work or hospital work or apostille work, whatever it is. And of course, the one thing that overlaps all of those is your Google presence, your online presence. Do you have a Google business page?
Yes. Yes, I
Okay.
do.
All right. So then once you
I'm
get,
still learning the SEOs. I'm still learning how to work
all
those
right.
SEOs.
So
Yeah.
some of the easy ways to build that is, of course, post questions on your own page and answer them. So you're providing helpful information. It's more than keywords. So look for opportunities to add photos, to add questions and answers that people might ask, right? Because what happens is that gets searched and it would bring them to your page. And of
Mhm.
course, make sure for the jobs you are doing, getting reviews. so that those will tie back, and responding to those reviews. I will tell you, an example of like direct today. I just did a quick seller's package before I came here. That seller's package was from a guy that I took care of 6 months previous. How did he find me 6 months previous? It was on Google because I have a very active Google presence there. So he found me there. Then I did review worthy work for him. So when he needed me again, this time 6 months later, he just went back to my contact. He didn't even go to Google anymore. And then when we finished it, because he's an investor, he said, in about 6 months, I'm going to have this again for different properties. I'll give you a call again. And we meet, at Starbucks. So, building a direct relationship with an individual is what allows that repetition, where you have one customer that you get over and over again, rather than the signing databases and signing services that you're on a list of notaries and you may or may not get called back for somebody you took care of before, right? You're just on the list. And so
Yeah.
I think that's really important to do that. The other thing is, in your own community, make sure everybody knows you're a notary. So that means your online community, your Facebook friends, your family and friends. Where do you spend your money, right? Where do you do business? These are all places that, do they know what you do, right? I'm not just a loan signing agent. I'm a notary public, plain speaking. It means I
Mhm.
can notarize anything. If I say I'm a loan signing agent, they might think, oh, I don't have loan documents, so not
Yeah.
something I need, right? So plain speaking as much as you can. So those are just a few of the things that worked well for me.
I know you are the queen of letting everybody in Modesto know exactly who you are and what you do. And that's so important. Because if you're spending your money somewhere, they're going to be more interested in helping you because you're spending money with them, right? So I think I love that advice that you give. Matt, what do you say?
What comes to mind, Lou said she's in Florida, and I know that there are several Florida notaries on the call. They're doing really well with online notarization.
Yeah,
So you
right.
might look into that as well to help expand your market, because Florida Notary can notarize online for anyone in the world. So that could really help as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm with Notarize or Proof as a RON too.
Great.
Good.
Great.
But I don't
Great.
get as many. I thought there would be a lot but they don't have as much volume as I thought they would have. It's like, okay, RONs, I
Yeah.
can do that all day, every day.
So
Yeah,
Because
Liz,
their business model's a bit more spread out, right? So it's kind of like a queue. But there are other platforms out there that are approved for Florida notaries to use, where you can bring your own clients directly to. So you can set up a
yeah.
website advertising just your online notary service,
Hmm.
and you don't have to wait for them to give you clients.
That's
got
it.
it.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, like
Yeah.
positioning your Ron as an additional way to help your customers. So I wanted to let you know, Luz, this is great timing actually, because in 2 weeks, right here on this very show, Matt and Laura are going to be traveling to the Secretary of State conference that's held annually. So I am holding down the fort by myself, which means I've called in my friends at the NNA to come help me co-host on the 14th, and we are going to be talking about all things marketing. So definitely, Luz, make sure you come back for that because it'll give us some time and the space to get a little more detailed about it. But I would absolutely encourage you to come back every week because we are always talking about marketing on some level, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I try. I try so hard to make it. It's a lot of times I'm either in a meeting or I'm on a signing. It's like I miss it. I'm like, darn.
And we've got
And,
replays up for you. So,
and
yeah.
Luz, how long have you been a notary?
Well, that's the thing. I've been a notary for over 20 years, but
Uh-huh.
starting this year is when I finally opened my business, created an LLC to start providing other notarizations for other things like Ron and loan signing. And I started learning about the apostille, how to, market my services. I've been doing it for very long, but I've been a government employee for over 20 years. So that's mostly where I always use my notary was at work.
Right,
Now
but
that
Luz,
I'm,
for 20,
I'm
Luz, hold on a second. For 20 years, you've been out there trying to market your notary business, or were you a notary working on the inside for an
I was a
office?
notary working on the inside.
Okay.
Yes.
How long have you been a
Yes.
notary for yourself, for your own business?
3 months.
3 months. Okay. So you're doing all the right things. First of all, I want to tell you, you're doing all the right things. But here's what I'm going to tell you. It takes some patience to build a business,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're going to
Mhm.
increase, slowly every month. It's going to get better. But Jen, what does my
Mm-hmm.
friend Jen say about 3 months? Are we ready to be six figures?
No, it's 12 to 18 months, Luz, to build a successful referral-based business. Now, that doesn't mean you're not making money along the way. You are making money along the way. But you don't start a business, whether you are a notary or you're opening an Italian restaurant
No.
or anything, whatever your dream business is,
Yeah.
right? You don't open the doors and all of a sudden you're making the kind of money you need to make or that you dream of making. You have to put in the work. And this is where the 5 point marketing system is going to help you.
Yeah.
It's going to teach you because we also think that marketing is just one thing. I just need to find that one thing that's going to work. It's not one thing. It is a compilation of doing
Yes.
many different things. And it can feel extremely overwhelming. But when you systemize it, the way I've done in the book On the Move, in the Marketing for Notaries community as well, when you systemize it and you break it apart, you make it a little more manageable to understand and to do the work because you have to be the one to do the work. But I would definitely get reading on that book so you have a broader picture. It's going to have tons of tips for you, um, and keep coming back because we're here to
Yeah.
help every
Yeah.
month.
Yeah. And that's why I was over. I find it so overwhelming because it's new for me, and I'm like I'm reading all
It
the
is.
books. I'm reading all of your books. I'm reading Bill's books, and I'm trying to learn. And then it's like so much stuff, and I'm like I am like overload. I don't know
I
where to
know
start.
it is.
So
I
just choose a few of them. You can't do them all
yeah,
at the beginning, all at the same time,
yeah.
right? You
Mhm.
start with signing up, you start building your Google page, just pick a few that you could work on. And then when you feel like I've made progress there, now pick another one and then pick another one.
Okay.
And that's how
Mhm.
it builds.
Yeah, you can't do it
Okay.
all at once. You'll freak
Too
yourself
much.
out and I mean you will cause yourself a breakdown and I speak from experience of trying to do it all at one time. It is impossible. So yes, Laura's absolutely right. Focus on one thing. Do all these suggestions help?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
because yeah, I needed to hear that from like people that have done doing it for years because I'm a newbie. Even though
You are, yeah.
I'm a I'm an experienced notary, but now this is me trying to make it into a
Yes.
business. So that's a totally different ball game that I am
Yeah.
very inexperienced in. So it's like, oh God, how am I going to do this and make
But
it
I
work?
love that you've identified where you're lacking
Right.
in your experience and you're reading books about that and you're trying to round your skills out and that's the phase you should be in at month 3. You're getting to the
Yep.
point where you're going to start executing these ideas and you're going to see what works for you and what doesn't. And you know what? Some of the things you try, Luz, you're going to fail with that particular way of advertising or that, thing that you tried. It's not going to work for you. It's not going to feel right. And that's okay. That's why I say it takes time to really get in your groove and figure out how the 5 point system can work in your business, work for you instead of being like this roll your eye, like, oh, thing I have to do. It becomes something that you look forward to doing.
And
And it,
Jen is saying something that I want to make sure everybody else is not missing because I think it is just so important and we miss that. We see what other people are doing, we see their outcomes, their results, and we think, I want that. So I'm going to listen to them because they got what I want. But not everybody who has the results has a system, a framework because
Mhm.
that's what makes it
Yeah.
work for you. Is not the individual things I might have done, but the fact that I have a framework that's repeatable, a
Hmm.
system that's repeatable.
Hmm.
That's what makes a good mentor, a good coach, is when they can set up a framework for you that you can repeat. And you may get different results based on your geographic area, based on the specialties you choose. But just because somebody's really good at something for themselves, what you want to look for is where's their system, what's repeatable. And I think everybody needs to be thinking about that in that way.
Thank you. It is, because Luz said it. She was like, I'm just learning about this stuff. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I've got to figure all this out. That's where a framework, a system is beneficial. If we all knew about marketing and what to do and how to increase our bottom line through marketing, well, I wouldn't have a job, but it would be easy, right? But it's not,
Yeah,
and we don't actually, we go into this thinking like I want to be a notary to help people. We don't think, oh, I'm also going to have to learn accounting and bookkeeping
right.
and
All this other stuff.
marketing and all these other things. So it takes some time. But if you guys are interested in learning more about marketing for notaries and all the things we talk about, we are in the middle, at the beginning actually, of doing a woo woo summer series talking all about fear and anxiety and all those little things that creep into our business. You guys can check it out in the chat. So that,
One more thing, Jen, John Clarkson put a comment in, this is for Luce, that Panda Docs, you can bring your own Ron clients to them and they don't have a monthly fee, only transaction fees.
mm,
So if you haven't looked at Panda Docs, look at other platforms.
yeah, there's a bunch
Okay.
of them popping up everywhere. What a great discussion.
Yeah.
You guys raise your hands and we'll keep this conversation going. We are happy to answer any of your questions. I do want to address a question that came in, and I'm kind of using it as a setup here, but this was on here a couple of times, so it bears bringing up. After the meeting, would it be possible to speak with a mentor? And then gave us our phone number.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I put it out there when my links are put in the chat, but you can book a 15-minute free consultation with me at calendly.com/, my last name, Bewer, and just go to my calendar and book 15 minutes with me. And then we can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about.
Mhm.
So, yeah, absolutely. And it's always free.
Yeah. Yeah, your 15-minute calls are free. You guys can always reach me at the email in the that I just threw in there. And Laura, I put your Calendly link in
Thank you.
there. I brought this up because I want to point out this, we do have this function that you guys, if you're feeling nervous about raising your hand, which we totally
Right.
understand. Not everybody's, on a Zoom call 57 times a week like we are, Laura. So I get it. But putting it in here in that document, it's not for instant reactions. You may
Right.
put your question in. If you need something answered right away, the question form for TNT is not the place to do it. So if you guys are always welcome to email us and get on calendars, but we're not going to reach out to you in that way. So feel free to give us a call or get in touch, and then we can figure out how we can work together or, how we can help you. Okay. Hang on, I've got another question here. Um, I'm trying to stay there. A lot of them are marketing, so I'm trying to.
Right. We might have something too
Mm, here's one.
to
Here's a
add.
Laura question. Recently, a client came in with an affidavit for collection of personal property,
Mhm.
accompanied with a California acknowledgement certificate. I know affidavits are usually associated with a jurat, especially if the document has verbiage like subscribed and sworn,
Mhm.
or refers to the signer as the affiant. This particular affidavit did include affiant and declarant, but not subscribed and sworn. It also had a statement to the effect of, I declare under penalty of perjury, and
Mhm.
then dot, dot, dot. I thought
Okay.
a jurat would be the better notarial act, but since the client provided the acknowledgement, I went ahead and completed it. She said the affidavit was intended for a public storage facility manager. Apparently, several other sources, like the Sacramento Law Library, Orange County, and e-forms, include an acknowledgement rather than a jurat for this particular affidavit. Are these sources incorrect? Or is there a special reason or exception as to why an acknowledgement might be preferred? If
So,
if a jurat
oh,
is the more appropriate act, would it be within my scope of authority to swap out the acknowledgement for a jurat without asking the client to decide?
all right. So let me answer the last one first, which is no, it's not in our scope to determine what's the right one. The right one is what they give me. That's the right one from a notary's perspective. Whether or not it is the right one is another story. But it is not in our scope to swap them out when we believe it should be different. Then I'm going to come back to the idea that affidavits are usually is the key word there. Not always, but usually. So when it happens to be an acknowledgement that goes with it, what matters is the receiving agency's desire. And if the receiving agency just wants to prove it's the right person who signed it and they came up with an acknowledgement, nothing wrong with that. And if the agency, in addition to that, wants them to swear under oath that everything is true, then they would pick a jurat instead. And because it said signed under the penalty of perjury, that is like a as if you were under oath. So what they're saying is, we will prosecute you as if a notary put you under oath, even though they didn't, if you lie, right? So it's there without the need for a notary to put you under oath, but it carries the same penalty called perjury, and we know where we go when perjury happens.
Mhm.
So one, it's always the receiving agency's determination unless it's codified in law somewhere. Then the second thing is, what if it's codified in law? It's supposed to be whatever, and they're picking the wrong thing. It is still not in my scope of my job to tell them they're wrong. What I can do is ask, who asked for you to use this notarial act? Was it the receiving agency? Right? Did you do a little research on AI? Where did you get this information to get them to think about it? And although I cannot tell you the right one, what I can tell you is what each one does. And what I can tell you, some types of documents, like recordable documents, have it in the law that what kind they're supposed to be. And if you use the wrong one, it will be rejected. So I can talk about it. I can explain what I do in my certificates, but I just can't tell them you need to use this one. So did I hit all of the points?
I was just looking. Swap. So you can't swap it out. No, that okay. Are these sources? Okay. I think you got them all.
Okay, Matt, anything else you can think of that I missed?
The only thing that I would add, I thought I heard a Y in there, is that a lot of times the reason why a particular agency may have pre-printed an acknowledgement or included an acknowledgement with an affidavit as opposed to a jurat, it really comes down to what they need to prove to satisfy the law.
Right.
They need to prove who signed it, or do they need to make sure that you signed it in a third party's presence and were given an oath? So it's all about what the agency is trying to prove.
Got it. Thank you, guys. We have another question about penalties of perjury. So I'm going to read that to you. Let me I just want to make sure we don't have any hands up. Okay. I'm in Virginia, and I wonder if you know anything about the California teachers' retirement forms. I was asked to notarize it for a retired teacher. And of course, the acknowledgement has the statement about the penalty of perjury. I know I can't notarize as is, and I can't cross out California and write in Virginia. According to the signer's family, they told me that to call Cal STRS. I don't know what that means.
CalSTRS.
CalSTRS, what's that?
It's a retirement system.
Okay.
California Teachers Retirement System.
Okay, CalSTRS. And we're told I'm not allowed to attach a loose acknowledgement. Do you know anything about this?
Well, yeah, a little bit about that. So I do them all the time. First of all, you it's not preferred. I'm thinking about how it's not recommended that you strike the state and put your own in that California certificate. However, if the agency says, look, we don't want an attached one, fix what you've got, they'll take it that way. You're not breaking the law by making the state to your state because you're going to be held to California requirements. If you call the NNA, they're not going to recommend you do that. They're going to say, hey, you might want to just replace it with your own stuff, just like you change the venue. It's not like you don't have to change things. So you do. So if STRS is saying, look, we don't want an attachment, we'll accept it if you change it from California to Virginia there, and you'll be held to those standards, then you can do it. It's not like breaking the law to do that. The preference is that you replace it so that it's yours to begin with. But we do, federal agencies are the worst in saying, we won't accept anything else, and this is all there is. But frankly, they can't prevent us from attaching a certificate if that's what's required of us, particularly in an acknowledgement, because there is reciprocity amongst the states to accept each other's acknowledgments as long as we perform that acknowledgement legally within my own state. You're supposed to accept it, California. So whoever they talk to on the phone may not realize that there's nothing codifying the acknowledgement, the wording within the acknowledgement for them, and for a notary to either replace it or to fix it is up to the notary to do. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It could be if they tell you not to attach, but you have to attach, and in this particular example, you do because the penalty of perjury line reads under the state of California, the laws of the state of California, and you're not a California notary. So I would also have replaced it. And then if they attempted to reject it, you could point out the statute to them that says, hey, you have to accept this because I perform my notarization in accordance with the laws of my state.
Right.
And so that's what you have to do sometimes. I've had this happen a few times over the years. It happened once with Utah. It was a marriage license application form of some sort, and of course their jurat is not compliant. So I attached our jurat, and the clerk that they submitted their application to obviously rejected it. But I was able to get in touch with that clerk and cited her own state's law that says you must accept my notarization. And I never heard from them again. And the customer said they did accept the application. So sometimes you have to go a little bit above and beyond, but you can really make a difference in someone's life. And guess what? Those people referred me to other people, and those people referred me to other people because they know that I'm competent and confident and I'm going to get the job done for them.
Absolutely. Love it. Well, Larry out in the Bay Area has his hand up. Hi, Larry.
Hi, everyone. I have a question about the dreaded A in an acknowledgement, A notary public. I was doing a signing yesterday, just some trust documents related to a real estate deal, and it was through an agency. So they, sent me their form, and it had the A in it. So I stopped, and I was like, I don't think you probably want to redo this because I think the A is going to cause rejection. It was a San Francisco property, so it's going to be filed here in the city. And the woman who made it just absolutely insisted that no, it's not going to cause a problem. Just do it. Just basically do it the way it was written. And I'm wondering, has there been any softening or changing on that language? Because I'm thinking she's heading for rejection.
So I think there's two things to think about. Of course, one is the letter of the law, which is absolutely not. We're not supposed to have that and there. It's not a notary public. We're the notary public, and that's how it's codified in law. So that's the first part of it. And I have not heard any softening on that stance. So that's the first part. The second part is rejections. I want us to think about who's rejecting. If it's not property, meaning it's trust documents, which are not recorded. The whole idea is for those to not be public. But the property is being recorded. I am going to fix it or replace it. I am not going to let it go like that because maybe it will go through and maybe it won't go through. I don't know. Depends on what county recorder you get, right? Some may notice it and some may not notice it. And I don't want to take that chance because I don't want to have to meet with them again and have a new date. And, it's kind of a big to do it. So I always separate out the real estate documents where there's a recording involved, and I make sure I provide a compliant certificate for that every time. What
Does
do you
that
think,
answer your
Matt?
question, Larry?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Guys, get your hands up like Larry and let us answer your questions. I'm going to continue with our form since nobody has their hands raised. Um, this one I found a bit interesting. So, a lot of clients used to say to us that if our commissions expired within less than a year's time, we couldn't notarize a document for them. My husband and I both have New Jersey notary commissions. We were signing many different types of documents at the time. We're not sure who gave our customers their information, but I looked it up online and found out for a fact that an expiring New Jersey stamp and notary certificate can be used up to and on their expiration date. Why would somebody think otherwise?
So yeah, I've had it with timeshare. When people are getting out of their timeshares, those documents, they don't want somebody less than a year. And I also have it for international adoption. The international adoptions, because it takes so long, they don't want your commission expiring before they get the documents out. I don't know why the timeshare, other than it's very difficult to get out of your timeshare. So they're probably just making it as difficult as possible. Legally, our commission is not only good up to the date for us to perform it up to the date, but it's good forever after that, as long as I performed it legally during the time I was a valid notary. It's forever. Doesn't matter if it expired. But so here's the deal. Receiving agencies they can decide, I only want to use ID. I don't want credible witnesses. I only want a notary that's got a year or more left on their commission. Sometimes they make these internal policies or rules that are tighter than what the law is, and they can do that.
Isn't there a rule with your passport, like you can't travel internationally
I think if it's less than 6 months
less
left.
than 6 months? They want you to update.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want you to update it, or yeah, so kind of
Yeah, so
similar
these
to
things.
that. Interesting. Well, guys, since you are so quiet today, everybody's quiet today, Laura, which is unusual for this group. You guys normally like to talk, 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 and I love it. Um, we can share some wins today too. If you guys would like to share some wins with us in our last few minutes of the call, we would love to hear about all the good news in your lives. But let's get to Rachel. Hey, Rachel, she's out in Orange County. What can we do for you?
Hi there. So I still am working on getting my first loan signing,
Mhm.
and I was watching some videos or whatever, and one of the things it was saying was that we always need to get a copy of their ID for the Patriot Act, and that we need two forms of ID for the Patriot Act. So it was a sort of a two-pronged question. One, I know
Yeah.
we've discussed this before, is that what are secure ways of getting people's IDs, even if the loan signing or title company or whoever hires us isn't asking for them? And then the second one is about the second form of ID for the Patriot Act and what's
Sure.
acceptable for that.
So a couple things. One is that I haven't been asked for photos for the Patriot Act specifically. I have been asked for photos of IDs just from the title company or from a signing service, but not specifically to for the Patriot Act itself. Maybe they put it together after. I don't know. They don't tell me it's for that. So I've not heard specifically that a Patriot Act has to have a scanned photo. The other thing is it can be one, it can be two. How do I know? Because the document tells me. At the front, it'll say, at the top, it'll say one ID. Then don't worry about all those other IDs, just the top list in the first box. Pick one and use that. Usually it's the driver's license or whatever you're using to notarize. If it says two forms of IDs, then it'll have a second grouping and there's your other options. So, I mean, and they're not going to be IDs that a notary would use. For instance, it'll be a social security card. It could be a Visa card. It could be a who knows what kind of a membership, like a AAA card. It can be a lot of different things that they'll list for you that you'll fill out, but you only do a second one if at the top the instructions tell you you need a
Okay.
second.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's where
so
I
if
got
that makes
confused because it was saying that like you can accept the social security
not
card, and I'm
always,
like, can I? Like,
not you.
yeah.
Remember, it's not you're accepting it. You have your ID requirements. That's what you
Yeah, it's
notarize
it's the
with.
it's the
Bank.
however it is the
Right.
confirmation
And the
person or
social
whatever how
security
it's phrased
card,
on the
Social Security card is not a primary for them. It's going to be further down the list. The primaries are going to be passport, driver's license. They're going to be the photo IDs
Yeah.
that usually we're using for notarization.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
Great
Then you
question.
had another part of your question, Rachel, which is, well, if I have to get a photo, how do I do that?
Yes.
So a lot of times I'll ask them to take a photo on their phone and forward it directly so that it can be done, but I don't want it on my phone.
Mhm.
Excellent. So that
So,
way you don't even
yeah.
touch it. They have the digital file, etc.
Mhm.
Yeah, you make sure they do it. Like where I live in the state of Texas, it's against the law to take a photograph of someone's driver's license. So you have to, yeah, ask the owner to do it. So check your state laws. Yeah, Matt, did you want to add something to that?
Yeah, you just reminded me that in all states, it's illegal to take a picture of a military ID if someone is
Right.
using that
Yep.
as their
Period.
ID.
Yep, that's all states. So yeah, you guys need to know. Quick Google search can help you. Can I take a photograph of a driver's license in my state but God, get rid of it
And
as
even
soon
if
as
you
you can.
can, Jen, even if you can,
Get rid of it as
Don't.
soon as you can.
yeah,
Just
I
don't.
wouldn't do it
Just don't.
because then I become responsible
That's right.
for their personal information that's now sat on my phone for whatever amount of time it was once I took it. And now I take on that responsibility and I just don't want it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. That was a great question, Rachel.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Who else has a question for us, you guys? While we're waiting, we have just a few minutes left on the call. Let's see. I have a question for me now. Can you share any strategies or advice on how to approach and build relationships with construction companies to secure business opportunities? This is a great question. There are many documents in the construction world that require notarization, especially for things, crossing state lines or leaving the country or being shipped. So it's a great question. And I'm going to give you the answer that applies to any other business, not just construction companies. It could be uh, approaching attorneys. It could be approaching insurance salesmen. It could be approaching um, medical facilities. The first thing you really want to do if you want to specialize is to get in their orbit. It's to learn, do some research, and figure out where do people in the construction industry, the decision makers, where do they gather? It's not going to be the guy that's out there with the help me out, the wood guy that hammers the wood. Um,
Lumberjack.
Tractor, what?
did
The
you say
worker bee? I don't
Carpenter?
know.
The lumberjack.
Carpenter. Thank you. Did you
Oh,
just say lumberjack?
I did. You said the guy in the woods that chops the wood.
Yeah, that's a lumberjack.
The carpenter.
Yeah, the electrician,
The electrician. Yeah, it's
the
not going to be those
plumber, the
guys, right?
roofer.
Yeah, you want to meet the people that are making the decisions. Where do they gather? And actually, for construction, I know where I live in Dallas, Fort Worth, there are all kinds of building associations, and they love to throw a party. There's the Dallas Building Associate, Construction and Building Association, and it could be Home Building Association. It could be public buildings. They all you got to do is a quick little search on Google and figure out where these folks are networking and go and start meeting them. Start listening to what they need. Start asking questions so that you can eventually over time learn ways to solve their pain points with your specialty as a notary. And that's a very general term or a very general description for it. But Laura, do you want to add anything else?
I actually do a lot of work for those. They're bonds and
Hmm.
bids. Those are the
Hmm.
two main documents I handle, and I usually are handling them for roofers.
Wow.
A lot of them seem to be roofers in the area. And once they got me once, then they like just call me back all the time
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
these bonds. And of course, their jurats are never compliant for us. They come from Texas, so they're never right. But I didn't actually find them from that. Um, Mine was my Google page
Mhm.
because I indicated some of the documents I handle, which are bid documents and bond documents, and that's what they needed.
Yeah, and you're by telling Google
Yeah.
that on your Google business profile page, by telling it that you are able to handle these kinds of bids, these kinds of bonds, the things that they need, that's letting the algorithm know that it can move your information in front of construction people. So it's really important that you update your Google business profile with any
Mm.
specialty documents that you're aware of or know how to notarize and are trying to specialize in. Matt, do you have anything you want to add?
This is very new, but I've heard that it makes a difference. And that is if you talk to your favorite AI bot, whether that's ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, and tell it about your business and your target customers, that can help you because people are now not just searching Google for service providers, they're searching AI. And it
Yeah.
can recommend you when they ask, hey, I need a mobile notary in San Francisco that signs bonds, and it will recommend you. You just have to
Mhm.
tell it to update your memory.
Yes. Oh, I
Mhm.
love that. That's great advice and something we should all be thinking about doing as AI becomes more and more familiar and more popular to use. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. All right, guys, who else has a question for us? We only have a couple of minutes left.
You can always
Um,
write one.
and then we're going to wrap up if we don't have any other questions. Everybody was really quiet today.
Yeah.
We have
That's
to,
okay. They're
we've,
just building that energy. As soon as they get off the call,
Celicia's like, I've always got
got the
something.
zoomies.
What's up, Celicia?
There was an update about the scam that's going on from Nicola through the NNA and the Find a Notary.
What happened?
Well,
Yeah, I've
you know,
had
the
five of
scam that's
them
going
this week.
around. Yeah, it's quite a scam where everybody wants to contact you and then they want to do a Zoom link or a Google Meet link. And of course,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
pay
yeah.
the link and they
What's the update?
the update is they put out on the NNA website. They've got, if this sounds like a scam, it's a scam. Some of the tips about what to look for,
Mhm. Yeah.
like I said, I had them call me the other day and said a lead attorney wanted to meet with you and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NNA is making some back end changes to their Find a Notary as well to try to help prevent this from getting
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, I'm seeing it everywhere. It is a problem. So I'm glad that we're continuing this discussion and, we need to keep this at the forefront so that nobody's falling for it, right? So that we can keep notaries informed. Hey, Michelle. Michelle's here in Texas.
Hey. I'm so glad Celicia brought that up because that's something that I wanted to mention as well. It's gotten sophisticated.
Yeah.
I can see how it's learning. And it's been taking a little more back and forth, but it was specifically from Find a Notary that it was revived again for me
Yeah.
this last week, and not once but twice. So I've gone through it 3 or 4 times now. And so just beware, just be
Yep.
sharp. If something doesn't look or smell right about it, it
Mhm.
probably isn't.
We need to learn to trust our instincts in this area. We really do, and
Hmm.
listen to
Well, we're
them.
making it harder for them because we're all telling each other about it and we're
Right.
all saying, no, no,
Yeah.
scam, no, ignore. And
Yeah.
so
Yep.
they're not getting the response.
Yeah.
They're
And
having
Yeah.
to make changes.
the less you engage with it, the less they can learn from it and evolve to be more sophisticated about it. Go ahead, Nick.
That's right. And it's happening outside of the notary business as well. I saw a Facebook reel the other day of a guy who was talking about it. And what happens is if you click on that Zoom link, you then go to a Zoom channel where they show you unspeakable things and record your reaction to that. And then they, at the same time, capture your contact list and share your video of watching whatever they display to you. And then, of course, hold you for a ransom or whatnot. They want you to pay them to get rid of it. So
Well,
just don't do it, guys.
yeah. Don't. It's
And tell everybody you know about it.
yeah. Yeah, this should be on the forefront of all of our, and has been for the last couple of weeks, which I love. Guys, I see your hands up. Unfortunately, we are at the end of the call, so we are going to table those for next week. Bring them back next week, please. We can absolutely continue discussing this scam that's been going on, and bring any updates. But I'm going to do what I always do every Tuesday, and I'm going to throw it over to Laura to close us out today. Laura?
Well, okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's my tip for the day. Tell the world who you are going to be before you get there.
Love
Let
it.
the universe know who you're going to be before you become it.
Awesome.
Think
Bye,
about
guys.
it.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.